I think it's time, you guys. Are you ready? I gave you happy time. Ladies and gentlemen, today, a rough day. Mac, serious as hell's mad on his show. It's time for the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. I told you it's going to be that kind of a show today. We know what's up. Everybody knows what's up. We're talking about the things that went down, remembering the week that was. You know, and I started out by showing this picture I call Grace Under Fire. Because I know, having been here before, see, and I'm going to speak a lot to some of the older folks, because we've been here before. We've been here before. And so that invites a different perspective. Remembering the week that was. Why the struggle must continue despite the tragedies. And what now? You know, well, let's deal with that. For those of us who are old enough to remember the civil rights struggles, there's a very ironic kind of perspective to all of the things that happened because we kind of been here before. Now, because of that, a bunch of people are especially saddened and hurt because they hadn't thought about these things in a long time. They hadn't had these feelings in a long time. So those of us who are old enough to have experienced those things, there's a different perspective. Newt Gingrich came out in what I called a rare moment of clarity. And I said, let me go to my Tumblr, Mario Hemsley Tumblr, mariohemsley.tumblr.com, and you'll see some of these. Newt Gingrich came out in a rare moment of clarity and said, white Americans don't understand being black in America. That's Newt Gingrich. I said he had a rare moment of clarity. He must have taken his meds. Okay? Because he's going back and forth. He condemns Donald Trump, then he wants to be his VP. Okay, whatever. Y'all's like, whatever. You know, you are worst hoes in the world, these politicians. And I meant what I said, the worst hoes. I wanted to say whores, but that wouldn't have had the same impact. So Gingrich says that white Americans don't understand being black in America. 100% true. Those of us who have white friends and who have intimate discussions with them, I'm talking older ones, because I'm going to get to the young folk because they're different, thank God. We admit this to each other. When you love each other and you're from different races and cultures, you have to have some of these talks. Okay? So you admit these things that you don't understand. And that's one of the things you learn to work on. It's having friends from different groups that allows you the inner workings to develop the compassion. That's what you find out. So when you black and you have white friends, and it's funny how it occurred to me that my friends that are white, I don't never think of them as white people for some reason. See, this is what you do. And I'm sure white people do this too. If they have a black friend, they don't really think of them as black. When they say it, it doesn't sound the same, see? But we do that too. It's human nature. When you think of your friends that are not black, you don't define them first by their color. My white friend Laura. You know, you don't do stuff like that. And white folks don't do that either. Most of us stick within the groups that we have, and we don't understand it. With the youth, it's a little bit better. Why? Because they shared things. If you're my age, and I just turned 60, you didn't share anything. You didn't share any. The first thing I ever saw, sorta, was the music. That soul, quote unquote, soul music, Motown formed a bridge. This whole issue of living together is not that long in the makings. And so the weekend has occurred, and there's a perspective by which we look at it. Again, I look at it differently than most because I see these as being the price you pay for progress. This is progress. People say, Mario, people call me Mario, it's worse than before. I said, no, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. There's so much. I said, you know why it's not worse? I'll give you a bunch of reasons. It's not worse, one, because you're hearing about it. When I was 13, 14, police killing a black man was not news. You could not complain. If you went down to the police station, they would kick your ass. You would end up getting jacked, going to the police to complain about the police when I was 13. So when I was 13, no one cared. It wasn't news. Racism was not news, you guys. See, this is what I said you don't understand being black. I'm 60 now, so I'm going to give you a little history that most of you don't understand because the culture has changed. When I was 13, no one cared. Police jacked people all the time. When I grew up, before I could drive the family car, my mother drilled me about how to perform with the police. Because the police, every black man my age has a police story. Oh. Now here's the thing. My white friends used to tell me, Mario, you exaggerate. You really exaggerate. It can't be that bad. Now, do you feel like I'm exaggerating? I never have to have that argument again in life. All white folks, pay attention. So we weren't exaggerating, right? Wake your mama up, wake your daddy up, go get grandpa. Police been killing black folks a long time. They were the Klan. The police were the Klan. Everywhere where there was the Klan, the police were the Klan. This is America. Don't act like it didn't exist. Wake up, America. Wake up your mama. Wake up your daddy. This is what happened. This is the way it was. Okay, I knew where I could drive, and if I drove into Inglewood, which was at that time was the line, where the white folks were trying to hold on, they didn't want black folks in there. I knew I could get 2 blocks past a certain point on La Brea, and we were going to get stopped. And cops back then, just how they taught you. They said, you know you don't supposed to be over here, right?
What?
That's the way how did they talk to you? Did they tell this? They said to your face.
Right.
See, this is like the way police have talked to me.
Yeah.
You know, want another quote from a policeman to me? You know we're not here to serve you, nigga.
Oh.
Right? You know that, right? Police used to stop us. I remember one night we were walking to a party. This is how young we were, because we couldn't even drive. Walked into a party, all dressed up. Police stopped us, made us lay on the ground. Wow. In our party clothes. Mm-hmm. Just stood around, had a cigarette. Then they said, okay, you can go. We said, what did you? Then they said, you got a problem?
Oh.
And so we got up and dusted off all our shit. Now how the hell you gonna go party now? This is my relationship, so please don't act like the police. I'm a 60-year-old black man. I'm sorry to say that I don't feel like the police have ever protected me. They were the occupying army.
Oh, God.
So this is all because, and I'm not saying this to make you hate police today. I'm not. I'm giving you the past to understand the problems of the present. The Black Panther Party, which you're going to hear people talk about cop killers and all that, formed to protect black people from the police.
Thank you for that, Mario, because a lot of
They
people don't
formed
know.
to protect black people from the police. The police were killing so many black people that black people got together and said, we're going to follow the police. Now, so this hand of fist to me doesn't mean what it means to you. Remember, what was so amazing in racism was when the racists were kicking your ass, they didn't want you to complain.
What?
You were supposed to act like it was okay.
No.
You ain't supposed to act like you mad because they kicking your ass. So this is what the police did. I'm just telling you where it was. So this is the way it always was. So the story that I revealed to people is my history. Because I'm preaching love today, but I want you to understand, because to me, black folks in America are the most forgiving people in the world. I will say that again.
Amen.
African Americans are the most forgiving people in the world. And the reason why white Americans don't know that, because they've never appreciated the ass whipping they've been giving people. They won't say genocide about the Native Americans.
Ooh.
They won't say genocide. We don't have honesty in this country. There's no honesty. If we have honesty, we can move forward. Say genocide about the Native Americans, because that's what you did. And we can move forward. But you have to have truth. And there's not truth. That's why I had to tell people my story. I was in LA's first busing program. The first one. They weren't calling it for desegregation. It's just that the black schools were so overcrowded, we had like 40 kids in the class. 30 plus in every class. Audubon Junior High, right down the hill. You can document it. So they were going to bus us for overcrowding, even though it was only the black schools that was overcrowded. The white schools, well, seemed like they had plenty of room. I don't know why. It certainly wasn't racism. Anyway, so I was one of those black kids on the bus that rolls up to the school with the white parents out there with the placards, "We don't want you, go home."
Oh my God.
I'm one of the little black kids that had to walk past them into school. Not one day,
God.
not 2 days,
Every day?
bunch of days. I was the little black kid in the classroom that the teachers ignored. So when I raised my hand in that same school, they ignored me. Amazing to me, even to this day, the mind games that adults will attempt to play with a child.
Oh my God, yeah.
Wherever these assholes are, because there were some good teachers, but there were some real asshole teachers who were willing to play mind games with a child in a classroom. Think what kind of an asshole you got to be to do that.
Absolutely.
Mario, may I comment on that?
Yep, you can keep it going because I got to keep
in regards to what you just said about the mind games that adults would play with children. My sister went to Russell Elementary, and there was a teacher who was Caucasian that came in there as a substitute from West LA, and she wanted the kids to identify crayon colors in regards to their skin tone. And my sister got upset because the teacher told her, pick the crayon color that you are related to. And so she picked up the brown one because her skin complexion is brown. And the teacher said no, she gave her the black one. So she actually went home, told her dad. He went up there and complained to the principal, why is this lady here teaching these children this type of stuff when that's not on the curriculum or the agenda? So she ended up being fired.
Well, see, and again, that shows you the progress, right? Because in my day, you didn't get fired for that. That was just what was. Would you have? They would say, "What did you have a problem that they said?" They say something that wasn't true. If a teacher said like niggas ain't shit, and you wanted to complain, they would be like, "Are niggas not aren't this?" You know, it's almost like
coming on shades, shapes, and colors.
Where's the problem here? See, hey, it's just like all of these were the racisms of the time. I wanted to give you that history because this is what occurred. And this is the way it did because, again, the America that I know. So my senior year in high school, I wanted a BB gun. Ooh. Now, my mother said, knowing me, my mother said, absolutely not. No way are you to have a BB gun. So me being the person that I am, I snuck, got an older boy in the neighborhood to buy the BB gun, and I had the BB gun. Now, my buddies got their BB guns, too. There's a little place around the corner, a little reservoir with a little wall that you could step over. We would go in there and shoot tin cans and bottles. Now, because of our mother's training, we took a broom and a bag and cleaned up after ourselves. So about the third or fourth time we was around there shooting the tin cans and the bottles, all of a sudden we heard police, "Don't move!" We like, it's BB guns, it's BB guns. And they said, "Shut up!" So they came over there, police came in, we just froze. They came in, saw the BB guns are, and that's when this shit started. So the first thing the cop did is walk up to me and put a shotgun in my face. Now, if you've never had an angry police officer stick a shotgun in your face, you haven't lived. I was 16. This close to my face. And you know what he said to me? Give me a reason, nigga.
Oh, God.
Give me a reason, nigga.
All day. That's what they were doing.
I did not move.
Why would you?
He said, get over there by that car. And when I went to move to the car, since I didn't move fast enough to hit him, that's where I got to feel what it gets to hit in the back with a policeman's nightstick. I guess since I was the biggest, they wanted, to make me the example, kind of. So then they had you do this thing. You don't see this anymore. They have you lean on the side of the car like this for so long that and this is young. I'm young. So long to your knee, you drag it.
Right.
Stand up, get up. And they come over there and hit you again. Then they locked us up. This is for a BB gun that they saw was BB guns. They locked us up. They put the handcuffs on, and back in the day, they would leave the locks off, so they got tighter and tighter. So by the time you got down to the station, everybody was cut into their wrists.
Right.
Oh, my God.
And then they drove you around while talking shit for a while. Niggas don't need to live this good. Niggas don't need to live this good. They took us to the jail. This is for a BB gun. BB gun. And you can prove it because I got a record. They took us to jail, put us in jail for the BB gun. So we sitting in there, and we wondered how long we gonna be in the.
Oh my God!
In the cell, we in the cell. There's some gangbanging looking dude over there, and he done taken all the mats from the bed and piled them up, and ain't nobody gonna ask him for shit.
Oh hell no!
We ain't asked him.
Oh no, man!
Shit.
Don't
we ain't even asked. We in there. We 16. Okay, I'm in jail. Lord, so finally after about 3 hours or so, they said, "Oh, some people came to get you out." No. They talked to you like you're a dog. I go out there, and my mother, you remember, who told me not to have a BB gun.
It's so prophetic.
My mother's bent over a table signing papers. So I walk up behind her and just kind of stand there. My mother signs the papers. She stands up, kind of halfway catches a look at me, and turns and walks out the door. So I go running behind her. So my mother walks to the car. She opens the door. She gets in the car. I open the other door, jump in the other seat in the front. She starts the engine and she drives. She don't say shit to me. She don't look at me.
No reason, man.
She don't say shit to me.
You don't deserve the
Get
look.
to the house. My mother gets out the car, goes in the house, goes up to her room and shuts the door. She ain't said shit to me. And my brother's like, Dad said for you to come over when you get it back, whatever time it was. So now I had to be driven with my brother over to my father's house. My parents are divorced. Just lived in the same neighborhood. Thank God my father bought all his wives' houses, the same neighborhood. Another story. Took me to my father's house. He gave me a speech about letting people take advantage of me. So now when I went to school, in my history class, we had the officer in the classroom the whole week. Wonderful officer, nicest officer. And I gave him hell. I told the whole class. I said, all y'all know me, white friends here in my class. You know me. You've been going to school with me. Is there anything about me that would ever mean I needed to get my ass kicked by some cops? My teacher got mad. All my classmates they didn't even want to believe it. The cop was in the class. I didn't know what to say. I said, I'm not blaming you, Officer Jones. That's why you're on this assignment. You're on this assignment because you're good to talk to high school kids. Your partner's out there kicking black people's ass.
Oh.
So that's my perspective. Every black man I know. I got policemen who can tell you. I got family in law enforcement. My auntie was the warden of the Tombs in New York. New name for it now. I don't know. It's a maximum security prison. I got nothing but family in law enforcement. They can tell you. People, black folks in law enforcement, it's amazing. Most of them just don't deal with it again. It's, racism. So, my point being, if we're going to move forward, what we have to do is have understanding. The understanding is that white Americans don't understand being black in America. And believe me, Even though I don't think black Americans understanding white, we've been trained on your culture and drilled. I used to tell my white friends, you want to have a contest, you know more about who? I know everything about white people. They made me learn it. And then they gave us the same bullshit to learn about black people. That's why you don't know nothing. Okay, so there we go. That's why, so in order to move this all forward, right, we have to come to understand each other and respect each other. And this is why when Donald Trump says things like Mexicans are racist, build a wall, that's why he sounds like Adolf Hitler to me. See, because this is what's going to happen. If you built a wall, you would turn around one day and realize you had locked all the evil motherfuckers in there with you. Watch me. Okay? People don't understand it. That's what it's going to take to move forward. Now, in saying all that, what's going to help you is cling to the people you love. See, at my Christmas Day celebration, there are Jews, because there are Jews in my family. And we celebrate the Jewish holidays, and we celebrate the Christian holidays, because we are family. There are Mexicans in my family. Mexicans and Jews. I tell people, even though I have issues with the Israeli government, I have Jews in my family. Do you understand? I can support the Palestinian cause because the politics are separate from the people. The problem with all of these things is people use these issues as reasons for the racism. People hate the Israeli government, so then they become anti-Semitic and hate Jews. People are mad at certain groups of black people, therefore we all become that. Black folks have to always make the difference clear to themselves who are the cool white people. Therefore, we are guilty in many instances of bigotry ourselves. But again, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying understand being black in America and understanding that part of being black is when you enter any white environment, you need to be cool, chill, and find out who the white people are who don't hate you. That still exists. Am I lying or not? Because when you get fired for not being a team player, do you know what that meant? That's why they chose Jackie Robinson. Please don't get me on this because that's I got a whole Jackie Robinson issue. People know that. We get to that on a different day and a different time. But I'm saying he was chosen because he was the black man who could take the bullshit off the white people. That's why he was chosen. Watch the movie. They're saying that. And I can tell you that in medicine, it was the same way. So, moving forward, the first part was, what do we need to move forward? We need to take a moment to try to understand the other person. Side. We need to try to embrace. One thing I will say this. Thank God for the young people. They are more together than we ever had. So people say, Mario, it's worse. It's not worse. Look at how the young folks are coming together behind these issues. They don't have the same prejudices that we do. They don't cling to race in the same way either, though. So they're not going to claim their racial identity. They're not into the black thing or the white thing. That's what gets lost. They're into hip-hop.
They're people thing.
Right.
People.
And as much as some people go crazy because their kids don't want to do this, part of it, as much as we don't, is progress. The price of progress is people don't racial identify. You know what I got to tell you a vulgar quote from a young white person that I like dearly, who once told me, Mario, I just want us to all fuck each other into one color.
Wow. Well, that seems to be,
See, that's the young folks.
Be a thing that's happening.
I know that's crazy, but that's young folks for
but
you.
It's
young
happening.
folks for you.
Work it in.
And I just had to smile at him. I just smile. What do you say? Okay. Issue for the day, which we're going to follow up next week. I just want to make you aware, because it's very important. Take a look at my link about unequal treatment, confronting racial and ethnic disparities in healthcare. I posted this because this is very important. I guess now would be the time to raise this. I was part of this. I was part of Kaiser Permanente's diversity program. Now, as a black man of the 60s, when selected to be as many of these things as I was always somewhat cynical. I was like, why are we doing this? Why are we having a diversity program? All of a sudden, every business and all the medical things are having diversity programs. You go like, why? I say, well, I'm just a child of the 60s. What, y'all woke up today and decided you love black people? Really? I don't think so. There's something behind this. So I went and did some research on my own and found out that tucked away very carefully was a huge study that was done by the National Institute of Health. That's not a liberal organization, okay? The National Institute of Health, people have been lobbying them for years to do studies on racial bias in medicine. Now, studies have been done about bias for uninsured people, broke people, but no one had done studies on bias for people who are paying for the same health care amongst the major carriers. The same that you pay for Blue Cross, Blue Shield, the same money you pay. Now, this study that was lobbied for years and years by a lot of very dedicated people was finally done and a report was put out. As part of the report, and I will quote them, it's not that we were surprised by bias. We were absolutely shocked by the breadth and depth of pure evidence. Now, let me tell you why. When they invented the electronic medical record, it came after electronic billing. Part of the electronic medical record allows you to now keep more accurate charts and also bill more specifically, more effectively. One day, someone decided to take the billing information and the electronic medical record information and cross that with searches relative to race. Now you can search Dr. Jones and see what percentage of patients he had were what race as they self-identify.
Wow.
Now you could actually throw in other variables. Who was he referring for heart surgery? What they found when they started taking the electronic medical record.
Tell it, Mario. Tell it.
And their billing. And throw it in race, that they had the most effective documentation of racial bias in the history of mankind. They said it was everywhere they looked. Absolutely everywhere. These are conservative white folks. They were shocked. Go read it. I own it. I was actually asked to give 2 talks on this, where I had to explain to other doctors, I had to tell other doctors that right now, because of the electronic medical record of billing, they can pull your file and check on you and see how you were treating all your black patients. Were you referring them the same? Were they getting the same follow-ups? As my father would have said, you could have heard a rat piss on cotton.
Oh.
That's how quiet it was there. It was quiet. So go take a look. We'll talk about it next week. Unequal treatment, confronting racial, and to their credit, Kaiser Permanente was the first one to confront this head on.
Whoa. Really?
But, yeah, they were the first one, and they've been the most proactive. Now, let me tell you partly why. As was once said, I don't want to quote people. Because they have the best medical record in the first, right? Remember, everybody who's got medical record, right? Everybody's got billing. Everybody has data, right? Absolutely everyone. Some people are hiding theirs, and some people are doing something about it. Same thing like the U.S. military, why they're the most integrated business in the world. Because they look at the data. The data told them you got transgender and gay people in your service right now. You want to know how many? The military kind of blunt. They looked at the numbers of how many gays they had already in the military. They've dealt the same way they deal with the black folks. When the handwriting was on the wall, they said, well, we got to do this because we got a job to do. They had a job to do. That's why they are the most integrated business. More women at every level than any other business in the world, as far as I know.
Mario, someone on Facebook asks, I already know what your background is. Apparently they don't know, but they're from Senegal, and they want to know what qualifies you to talk about this as a source of information.
I did 4 years of undergrad at Howard University. I graduated magna cum laude.
That's right.
Who's Who in America. I wrote the senior class song. I was Phi Beta Kappa. Okay, I wrote for 2 of the school papers. I started my own fraternity, sorority we called it, because we had women feel a better thigh.
Amen.
I then went to USC Medical School, where I graduated on time and became a resident at LA County USC Medical Center, where I eventually became chief resident, had a faculty position where I ran the pediatric ICU, 24 on and 24 off.
He said, salute my brother. He didn't know.
And then I went and practiced in Compton in a Medi-Cal practice where they paid me $13 a patient visit and dogged me the hell out in my Medi-Cal practice before I returned to Kaiser, where I called looking for moonlighting, and one of my former professors called me back at home and offered me a job when they weren't hiring. Because they knew me. But I have been a rebel, too. But on the other hand, I know how to play that role. So that's the racism. There always was racism. There was always racism. That's the way I came from medicine.
He said, thank you. He said he didn't know that. He said, big ups to you, Mario. He said, that's good that you let everybody know, because the perception is one thing, but when you speak on it and you're talking from your heart.
I did this, you guys.
He's like, yeah.
I did this stuff because I so resented looking like a doctor. I wanted you to look at me and from the first second know that I'm outside the box. I so resented looking like Joe Blow, preppy doctor. I hated playing all them roles, but I sure know how to do them. And got my appointment. It's there. It's proof. I spent 30 years doing emergency. I can tell you about bias in medicine. One of my colleagues once asked me, Marv, have you experienced racism in medicine? I said, are you kidding? Every step along the way. Are you kidding? And what have I seen? When I was at LA County, they treated Mexicans like dogs. You talk about people dying, that was straight up racism. What motivated me as a medical student was that they treated my patients so badly that I decided to stay around afterward just to talk to them, because I didn't know how to do shit for them. So I went around and talked to them about what they were in the hospital for, because that's all I had. And I had to do something. That's why I started speaking Spanish. I got a D in Spanish in high school. But when I looked at those people suffering and I couldn't explain, I'm sorry. There's a part that said, Ma, you have to do better then. You have got to do something. There was no one to complain to. What am I going to do? Complain to county hospital how they treat Mexicans when the whole damn world knew how you treated Mexicans? Run to who? You know what I could do? I could go see Miss Jimenez and talk to her family after everybody left and try to explain things the best way I could in the Spanish that I could muster. That's what I could do. The talk today, we move forward now. Again, the context, understanding black Americans. The reason I needed to do this because to talk about what we do, you needed to understand who we were, why we did it, or else you wouldn't want to hear from me. I didn't even want to do this shit, believe me. I was dreading it. But else, how am I going to... It's a responsibility, right? I ask Vic all the time, are we supposed to do stuff? Are we supposed to stand for something? Or are we just supposed to be here and play music?
No.
What the hell are we doing and why are we doing it? And if we aren't doing some of this for something that's relevant, it doesn't mean anything. I'm Mario Hemsley. That's the good news. That's the bad news. That's the other shit. Sometimes it's real. Sorry, y'all.
No, you're all right, Mario. A lot of people chime in